Hey guys, how's it going? Temi here with another video. And I think this, yeah, it's good. And today I just want to talk about, self-discipline and how I think people, including myself, can have more self-discipline, right? So I just want to put like a quick disclaimer out there. Me personally, I don't think it's possible for you to put in like 100% of your effort every day, right? I don't think that's possible. Like eventually you're gonna get burnt out, bro. You know that there's some days where you're just not gonna do a lot of shit, and that's fine. You know, um, I feel like self discipline is just more being able to put in the best that you can in that moment, given your circumstance, right? Um, it's because whatever no matter what you do, it's always going to be better than you not doing anything, right? It's like if you're running, if you say okay, you plan to run 1 mile, right, and you're like, oh damn, I can't run 1 mile, I'm gonna run 0.5 instead, right, for that specific day. That's still better than not running at all, you know. So I feel like self discipline is just being able to give the best that you have in that specific moment, you know. So I struggle a lot with self discipline. Not gonna lie, there's some days where it's just like, dude, I just don't want to do anything, right? So I was thinking, I was I sat down and I thought about it, like what's making me to not have, the discipline to do at least something, right? Like what's preventing me from doing at least something, you know. And so I just like wrote down a bunch of stuff. I don't want to record like a video and have scripts and edit and everything. That's just gonna take too much time. So I put it in the screen. You know, I'm gonna read it to you guys. You guys can read it on the screen. But we're just gonna go through these points one by one. So basically, the first um, idea that I think would help is to break down your goals, right? Because goals are a lot like math equations, right? If you, I don't know if you guys take, because I'm a CS major, right? So I've taken calculus before, and there's some calculus equations where if you see, you're just like, dude, like what? You know, you got like integrals and you got like partial fractions, you got everything. It's like so hard, right? But if you actually sit down, like if you sit down and think about it, you look at the question more deeply, like more in depth, you realize that whoa, this is actually easy. All I gotta do is just, do use substitution here, and then boom, 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 follow this rule, follow that rule, and then boom, you already have the solution, right? So I feel like goals are a lot like math equations in the sense that complex goals can be broken down into simpler ones, right? So, for example, if you have, say, okay, you want to save 10 bands, right? If someone's looking at it like from that perspective of like, whoa, 10 bands, oh my god, how am I going to save 10 bands, right? It's going to be harder for them to hit that goal, right? Because they're looking at the bigger picture, right? But you can actually break it down, right? You can say, okay, this month I want to be able to save $100, right? And then you can say, okay, next month I want to be able to save 150 or 200, or 500, and you just keep going. Like it's just you just break it down into smaller parts, and that's easier. Something else that helps is also just being able to break down your goals into days, right? Like just being able to go day by day. So like for example, I'm doing this challenge where I lock in for 365 days, right? And it's like, dude, when I started the challenge, it was hard for me because I was like, whoa, 365 days, bro. How am I gonna do that? Like I started, and then 5 days later, I was already feeling the challenge. Because I didn't really have like a sense of direction. I didn't know exactly what, like, how to go about it. I was just looking at this big picture. 365 days. How am I gonna lock in? And then eventually, at some point, I realized that if I actually just break down like each if I break down the like 365 days, if I break it down into increments of 30 days, that's easier for me to digest, right? So right now for the next 30 days, I think I'm at day 15. I'm already halfway. For the next 30 days, I just want to run at least 3 times a week, right? And also to post content daily. So for the next 30 days, post at least one clip a day, right? And so far it's been good. So far I've been able to, I have like a more clear vision of, exactly what I want to do and how I want to like, I have a clear vision of how I want to approach the challenge, right? So everything's more clear to me. I feel good now, so that's something that you guys could take into consideration. It's just taking down, like writing your goal, right? And seeing if you're able to down that goal into more simpler goals that you can accomplish. And then eventually you're gonna work your way up and you're gonna hit that goal. Okay, so having a clear idea of exactly what you're working towards makes you more likely to achieve your more complex goals. Because if you have a clear idea, you're like, okay, I want to run, I want to be able to run, 10-minute mile pace. And if you have like a clear idea of like, okay, in order for you to hit that mile, you need to run a lot, and then it's just so then it's like, how often do I run? How intense? What's the intensity of the runs? Then you're looking at the structure, and you're able to structure it. You're able to, you know, break it down and understand it, and eventually you're going to hit that goal. You know. So ignore this one. I don't know. I mean, well, yeah, one of the major doors to unlock, like one of the major doors to unlock in order to be successful is self discipline, right? But just so I feel like having self discipline is just being consistent. Not like 100%, but not 100% every day, but just being consistent. That's what I mean when I say like in order to be successful. Because in order to be successful, you have to be consistent, and being consistent is having self discipline. If that makes sense, right? So, and also I said here, oh, just ignore that. My fault. My fault. So, and also I said here that hold on, let me save my notifications real quick. Quit Discord. Okay, and then one of the major doors to unlock, oh no, I already said that. My fault. Okay, so the key to having self discipline is actually by doing, not thinking, right? So usually what happens is when I have a goal in mind, right? I'm always like, oh my god, like I started, drafting up ideas and like start thinking, I'm like, how do I do this? How do I do that? For example, this year I'm going back to the gym, right? Because I don't want to get too muscular, but I'm trying to like, trying to buff up a little bit, trying to get rid of stomach fat, and like I was thinking like, dude, oh, what's the best workout regimen? What's the best protein shake? What's the best this? What's the best that? And social media in general doesn't really help with this. Cause bro, I was literally scrolling Instagram reels, and there was a lot of videos that were talking about, you know, this here's how to do bench press, here's how to do this exercise, and it's like a random way. So it thinking, right? Thinking about like your goal is good, but when you start to overthink, it starts to like cloud the vision, right? You start losing your sense of direction, and eventually you're not gonna hit that goal just because you're so confused and you're so overwhelmed by the amount of options that you have, right? So what I decided to do is I said, bro, I just tuned out all the noise, right? And the only thing I'm gonna focus on is working out and dieting. Like I'm gonna make sure my diet is good, right? And I'm gonna just make sure I go to the gym like at least three times a week, right? And do like intense, like I work out like intensely, if that makes sense. Like I train hard and I progressively overload. I feel like that's all I need, in order to hit the goal that I want, which is to slim down a bit, and gain muscle. That's it, you know. And once I did that, it's like all the noise, the scientific papers and everything, creating this, creating that. Creating is good, but like the different exercises, I don't care about that anymore. I just I looked up a PPL program on Reddit, and that's what I'm following. Like I don't care. Like I know if I work out good, if I work out well, I go to failure sometimes. I progressively overload event. I'm definitely gonna have muscles. Like that's a guarantee. Like I'm definitely going to have muscles, right? So there's no need for like all that other noise, you know. And yeah, look, I put an example here. It's like if your goal is to get muscular, for example, then one of the simpler goals will be to go to the gym consistently, right? But if you spend time thinking like, oh wait, this says how grilling the gym is, but if you spend time thinking like, oh my workout regimen isn't good, well maybe I'm not doing this right, you're gonna get discouraged, right? And also if you spend time thinking about like how grilling the gym is gonna be. Like, oh my god, bro, I don't want to work out. My muscles are sore. If you're like, oh, I gotta go to the gym today, bro. Like, fuck, fuck, fuck. If you start, that's what I used to do before, bro. It's like I used to think whenever I want to go to the gym, I would always think like, oh, dude, I want to go to the gym, bro. Like the gym, and then eventually, bro, I don't go to the gym, you know. But if you just do it, if you're like, oh, I gotta go to the gym, that's it. You say, okay, oh, I gotta go to the gym. Boom, full stop. You stop there and you just, dress up, get ready, and go to the gym and work out, bro. It's gonna be way more easier. Cause if you start thinking about it, like, oh, I gotta go to the gym. Oh, it's leg day. Oh my god, my legs are gonna hurt. Eventually you're gonna be like, maybe I shouldn't go to the gym today. But if you just go there, like, oh, I gotta go to the gym. Boom, go to the gym, and then you work out. It's gonna be way easier, and you can apply this to everything. There's some things where you should overthink, and there's some things where you shouldn't overthink. Like I put some examples here. So the house, like if you want to buy a house, you should overthink that because a house can make or break your finances, right? Go to the gym. Don't overthink going to the gym unless you're like a competitive type person. You're competing, right? Then you should overthink because that's competition. You're making money from that. You could make money from that, right? But if you're just like a regular gym goer, don't think about it. Just go to the gym, work out, lift some weights correctly, right? Progressively overload, and that's it. And then your career, you can overthink your career because that's like your life right there, right? And so, like, talking to someone you're interested in, don't overthink that. That's another example, right? Like, if I want to talk to a girl, for example, I'm like, oh my god, bro, what if she says no? Like, oh shit, bro, like, fuck, bro, oh, dude, I'm eventually I'm not gonna end up talking to that girl, But if it's like, oh my god, damn, that girl's like really pretty, let me go talk to her, and then I just walk up to her and I talk to her, like, she might say no, right? Or I might make a new friend, or I might get a girlfriend, like, you never know, right? Bro, this notification, bro. But yeah, I mean, you get the idea, right? It's like, just don't think about it, just do it. The best way to achieve something is by doing. Like, you think about it at first, you make a plan, right? But once you have that plan, you follow that plan. Don't start second guessing, and don't start thinking like, oh, dude, like, nah, bro, what if this way? Like, nah, bro, just do it. And if you do it, bro, there's no way you're not gonna accomplish that goal, right? And then the next one is to find your motivation, right? So, um, basically, whenever you break down your goals, right, you think about, okay, what is the reason why I want to accomplish this goal? Like, why do I want to hit this goal? For example, if you're a fat person, right, and you want to gain muscle, you want to lose weight, like, why do you want to lose weight? Because I want to be healthy, right? Okay, so why do you want to be healthy? Because I want to live a longer life, and if you're sitting in the couch, and you're like, dude, fuck, bro, I gotta go to the gym today. You're not really feeling it, but then you're like, okay, why am I going to the gym? To be healthy. Why do I want to be healthy? Because I want to live a longer life. It's like, okay, if I don't go to the gym, it's gonna be harder for me to go in, the other days, which eventually I might stop going to the gym, right? And that's going to hamper my progress, and I might not live a longer life, you know. So just think about like the reason why you're think about why you're going, think about why you're doing what you want to do, right? So you gotta find a reason to keep going, right? So I said here, a train run by steam cannot keep going without fire, right? Because you need fire to burn the water and shit, right? Um, the steam engines, yeah, they yeah, steam, water, they use water, right? So fire can keep burning without wood. So yeah, I use look, okay. So a train run by steam cannot keep running without fire, right? And fire cannot keep burning without wood, and wood cannot grow without like water and nutrients and stuff, And the cycle goes on. Like everything that happens is based off of something else. Like everything you do is based like there's a reason for everything. So you just gotta find the reason why you're doing what you're doing. And if you find that reason, you're gonna be more motivated to do that because of that reason. Does that make sense? Did you get that? Right? So I just put an example here. The reason why I'm going to the gym, trying to bag some ABGs, like every time I'm like, oh dude, I don't want to go to the gym, bro. Like, damn. I'm always like, bro, like what if I just come across like an ABG on the street, bro, and I'm like muscular as hell. I'm like, hey, what's good, shorty? You know what I mean, bro? Like that would be so tough. Then boom, bro, I go to the gym, lift the weights, bro. I live for the ABGs, bro. I'm not gonna lie. You know, reason why I used to run for the army qualification, honestly, but I don't think I'm gonna do that anymore. But that was the reason back then. I still run though, and the reason why I want to be rich, I wanted to know what it feels like to have so much money to do whatever. So it's just like these are the reasons why I do some of the things, some of the things that I do, right? And sometimes when I don't feel like doing it, I always go back to the reasons. Like, bro, if I don't want to post content, for example, I'm like, bro, if I don't post content, like, imagine how life would be like if I had, a decent amount of subscribers and I'm making money from it, like that would be pretty fulfilling for me, to have money that I can use to do whatever, that I can use to help people, to make myself comfortable, you know. And I just keep that keeps me going, you know. So each day you find your reason. It's gonna give you motivation to do what you need to do, and the more you do what you need to do, the closer you get to that goal that you need to accomplish. You know. And then another point here is to enjoy 15 minutes. Another point here is to enjoy what you're doing, right? If you don't enjoy what you're doing, like if you don't enjoy the goal that you set, you're not gonna do it for very long. Like eventually you're going to have to enjoy, to like what you're doing, right? Because I'm a CS major, right? And at the start, I didn't really mess with the math classes, honestly, because I wasn't really good at math. Programming was pretty okay, you know, but math, I wasn't really good at math, right? But eventually, you know, I had to like math because if I don't like math, then I'm not gonna pass my classes. You know, I had to be actively interested in math. You know, and now it's like math is pretty cool. Math is pretty alright. You know, I'm doing good in my classes, but if I didn't like math, if I didn't like doing math, right, then I would have probably failed some of my classes because then I would have been interested. I would have failed the exams, the test. I would probably try to cheat, get expelled, you know. So you gotta like what you're doing, you know. And then the more you do something, the more you get used to it, right? And the more you get used to it, the more it doesn't bother you anymore, right? And the more it doesn't bother you, you find out that you actually enjoy it, you know. Let's see what I wrote here. So if you're actually doing something and you don't enjoy it, you might need to like reassess, like, okay, bro, is this actually for me? Like, is this goal something that I actually need to hit? You know? And it ties back to finding the reason. Like, is this reason something that I actually want? Like, is this the actual reason why I want to do this? You know? So make sure you enjoy what you're doing, because the more you do it, the more you enjoy it. The more you enjoy it, the less it bothers you. The less it bothers you, the easier it is to do. You know, bro, this is a good example, bro. Brushing my teeth, bro. When I was like 14, bro, self-report. I don't gonna lie. I did not used to brush my teeth, bro. That shit was nasty, bro. And then I went to the dentist, bro. Holy shit, bro. I had like hella cavities and shit, bro. And then the doctor was like, bro, you gotta make sure you brush twice a day, you know? And I started brushing. Sometimes I'd forget, but like, dude, I didn't like the taste of because apparently you're not supposed to wash your mouth after you brush. I didn't like the taste of the fluoride, the toothpaste in my mouth, right? So sometimes I would just brush once a day and like that's it. But eventually I started brushing like twice a day, twice a day, twice a day. Started brushing twice a day. Eventually the taste didn't bother me anymore. You know, like, I didn't care about the taste. Started brushing twice a day more. Twice a day, twice a day. Nah, I brush twice a day. I don't even care about the taste. You know, boom. That's an example right there. You know, so just gotta make sure you enjoy what you're doing. I so um and also you can also find alternatives, right? Like I put an example here. If you want to be fit, if you don't care about muscles or anything like that, if you just want to be fit, right? But you don't like going to the gym, there are other things you could do. You could swim, you could do bodyweight exercises, you could run, you could play pickleball every day. You know, you could, as long as you just want to be fit. There's like multiple ways to achieve that. So that's an example, right? You can find alternatives if you don't like doing that specific thing, right? Okay, so I also said here, another point here is, you know, you lock in, but also make sure you lock out, right? This is tying back to what I said in the beginning, that not every you can't give 100%. You can give 100% some days, but there's some days where you just gotta rest, bro. Like if you don't rest, your body you are going to get burnt out. Like you're just going to wake up one day, you're just gonna feel so out of place, bro. You gotta make sure you rest, right? Because if you don't rest, bro, you're gonna keep doing something, doing something, doing something, doing something. It's gonna get like tiring for you to do it. You know, even if you have a valid reason, still gonna get tiring. You know, but like if you take breaks, if you're like, okay, maybe I've been going to the gym 5 days consistently, right? I mean, 5 days, then you get 2 days off, right? But if you're going to the gym like 7 days a week, bro, holy shit, dude, that's no rest, bro. Eventually, bro, you bound to get like burnt out from going to the gym, bro. I'm not gonna lie. But if you say, okay, I'm gonna go like 6 days and then have that one day of the bro, that one day of rest, bro, it's it's going to you're going to notice the difference, bro. Because just one day of not having to go to the gym, your muscles are gonna be, you know, they're gonna rest, right? You're gonna feel energized, and you're gonna want to go to the gym the next day, right? Or if you do 5 days a week and you rest 2 days, after those 2 days, bro, you're gonna be pumped. You're like, bro, I can't wait to go to the gym. It happened to me when I started running. When I started running, bro, I did not want to run, bro. I did not want to run, and then eventually. May last year, I ran almost every day. It was like 5 days consistently that I ran, like consecutively, every 5 days, right? And then when I would rest for those 2 days, I would want to run. I'm like, bro, I'm trying to run. Like my body would feel weird if I didn't run. You know, I was looking forward to Monday to when I would start running because I usually rest on the weekends. I was looking forward to Monday. I'm like, bro, I'm trying to run. Like, let me run, bro. You know, but obviously I had to recover, right? So I was like, bro, Monday. And then when Monday hit, bro, I was so excited, bro. I went outside, start running, you know. So make sure you take breaks because breaks, you know, breaks are needed. Everyone needs a break once in a while, you know. You don't gotta be locked in all the time. Nah, bro, you gotta lock in and then you gotta lock out. You know, that's how you do it. That's how you become the best version of yourself. You know, you lock in and then you lock out. The thing is, you're just gonna make sure the amount of times you lock in is more than the amount of times you lock out. That's just it. Yeah. All right. And then I think this is the last point here. Uh, Celebrate the small wins. Right. You gotta make sure you celebrate the small wins, for real. Because if you eventually don't hit your goal, you have to celebrate the steps that you took along the way, right? So, for example, if you said, okay, you wanted to walk a mile and you only walked like point 0.5, right? You might think, oh my God, dude, I didn't hit the goal, but at least you walked point 0.5. That's point 0.5 more than you would have hit if you didn't do anything, right? If you want to go to the gym at least 3 times a week and you only went twice, that is still 2 times more than you would have done if you didn't do anything. That's 1 times more. That's one more day that you would have gone if you only went once, you know. And if you only went once that week, that's still 1 time more than you would that you went to the gym if you didn't go. Does that make sense? Like, you gotta celebrate the small wins. You know, not you're not gonna hit your goals 100% of the time. You know, it happens. Stuff happens sometimes. You know, and being able to celebrate the small wins keep you going. It's like, bro, okay, I didn't I didn't run like a mile, right? But I ran point 0.5. Okay, let's make sure next time I actually run the one. I ran point 0.5, that's good, but I want to be better. You know. That's the thing, bro. It's like you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be better. You don't have to be this perfect individual, right? But you need to be a better individual. You always have to be better than the person you were yesterday, right? That's what I feel like self-discipline. That's like the overarching idea of self-discipline is doing better than what you did before, right? So if you don't go to the gym 3 times this week and you only went twice, then next week you make sure you go 3 times. Even if, bro, see, that's what I'm saying. Even if the third time you go, you just do like 2 exercises. That is 2 exercises more that you would not have done if you didn't go. You know, does that make sense? So make sure you celebrate the small wins. All right, and I think this is actually the last one. And small wins motivate you. You know, like I said, they motivate you. They keep you going because it's like, okay, I didn't accomplish this, but I accomplished that, and I accomplished this, and then you're like, oh, bro, I actually accomplished some stuff. Let me keep going. That's what happened to me last year. Last year, bro, I didn't hit any of my goals. Well, only one, right? I ran a sub 10. Like, I had a sub 10 mile pace, right? And I saw that this year, and I was like, bro, sub 10? I actually did that? Like, bro, if I can do that, I can do way more. You know, like, fuck it, let's do it. Like, let's do it, bro. You know? Now I'm like hella motivated to like hit most of my goals this year. You know? This is just an example. And then the last one is perseverance, bro. You gotta persevere. You know, it's like you can't be like, oh, dude, I didn't hit my goals. Never mind, bro. I'm never gonna do this again. It's a waste of time. Nah, bro. You can't be like that, bro. You know, you gotta persevere. Like me, for example, bro. I try to garden, bro. Every single time I try to garden, my plants die. Like I am not. I harvested potatoes. They're like about this small. But you know what? I keep going because eventually it's gonna get to a point where I'm so locked in, I'm so dialed in. I've read like a bunch of gardening books, watched a bunch of gardening content to where I know what I need to do, and then boom, bro, I'm gonna get like potatoes like this big. Like it hasn't happened yet, but I know eventually if I keep going, it's bound to happen. You know, if you keep going to the gym, you know, if you're like, okay, I want to go to the gym 3 times a week, and you only go twice that week, right? The next week you only go twice. The next week you only go twice. Eventually, bro, you're gonna go 3 times. You're gonna be like, bro, why am I only going twice? You know, let me go one more time. You know, let me go just one more time, and eventually it's gonna be easier. To like, okay, this is how it looks like. Like week 1, you go twice. Week 2, twice. 3, twice. Week 4, you go 3 times, right? Three times, 3 times, 3 times, you know, and then that's how it just builds on top of itself, you know. Because if you persevere, the more you persevere and celebrate the small wins, like everything kind of ties back to each other. Like if you persevere and celebrate the small wins, you get more motivated, you know. That's how I feel it works for me. Like if I keep going. When I was gardening and I had the little potatoes, I was so hyped, bro. I was like, yes, bro, this potato, bro. You know, and then it's like, bro, if I could grow this potato this year, imagine next year, like next growing season, right? If I do garden again, it's probably gonna be like bigger and it's gonna get bigger and bigger and bigger. And eventually, it's gonna be like the size that I want. It's gonna be like a normal sized potato, you know. So you gotta persevere. Like not everyone, you're not gonna hit your goals 100% of the time, but as long as you keep going, you just gotta keep going, keep being consistent. That's all that matters, you know. So hopefully, you guys are able to get some motivation or some ideas from this to as to how you can lock in this year. Because bro, this like I said, bro, 2026 has got to be different, bro. Me and you, bro, we need to lock in, bro. Okay, we need to hit all our goals this year, bro. You know, and I really do hope that we hit that. But that's pretty much it for today. I'm gonna see you guys later. Y'all take care. Have a good rest of your day, and thank you for watching. Peace out.